All right, it looks like we're live. Just got to get the Instagram live. There we go. I think we got it. Boom. We are live, coming to you live from Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Instagram. This is the Casual Podcast, and this is the weekend recap, not the week, not to be confused with the week in recap. Weekend recap happens on Monday, weekend recap happens on Friday. I don't know why I make it so hard on myself, but I just enjoy it a little bit. It's a special week, ladies and gentlemen. I am clipping. It's a special week, ladies and gentlemen. This is my birthday week, and I'm not going to lie to you. I'm really excited. Um, Something that I think a lot might surprise people. I'm really into birthdays, like especially my birthday. I'm not going to apologize. It's like, look, the way I try to live my life is I'm clipping. The way I try to live my life is I try to, be there for people, try to be a good friend, a good family member. But like my birthday is the one day where it's about me. It's about me. I get to read everyone's messages, people that I thought forgot about me, people that I don't get to talk to all year. Sometimes it's just HBD, happy birthday. Yeah. Sometimes you just get an HBD, which is like the most like bare minimum. You can't even write out happy birthday. But no, I enjoy birthdays. And as I get older, I'm more into celebrating longer, if that makes sense. Like, so I don't just, because the day comes and goes, like, so for example, yeah, it just comes and goes. People work, you know, like there's no holiday for birthdays. People can't get off for birthdays. People work, and people hit you up, people call. I appreciate the phone calls, appreciate texts, I appreciate it all. But yeah, so my birthday's Wednesday. I'm excited. Started it off already. Shout out to the Williams family. We went out to Suprica, I think is how you say it. It looks like Super Rica, and it was absolutely delicious. They had been hyping it up for a while. I looked at the menu. I was like, I'm not really seeing the hype. Fam, if you are in the Central Florida area, I don't know if this is a chain restaurant, but Suprica is it's hard to say because I was about to say it's my favorite Mexican place, but it's not. Also, it's Tex-Mex. There's a place called Fruta Mix, located in Ocoee, and they have like the best Mexican food, but it's more like almost homemade. You know what I mean? Like it's like a food truck style, but it's delicious. It's my favorite. The birria tacos are the best. The tortas are insane. So, but like if you're looking for a restaurant environment, because I feel like when you go into a restaurant, the vibe changes. So you're looking for something nice. Suprica, I think is how you say it. I can't remember, but we went out on Saturday. Absolutely had a great time. This weekend, another dance weekend, and it was good. It was a good weekend. Let me tell you, it's those early mornings are hard. I know myself from now on. I got to get coffee. I got to have coffee, maybe even like a ginger ale, settle the stomach, put a little caffeine in there. So water, maybe do water, ginger, chill. Sorry, water, ginger ale, and then coffee. Um, but amazing. Everyone did amazing. Um, and I enjoy it. But see, I've grew up on this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like I was a musician, so I went to like all state and solo and ensemble and all these type of things and like conferences. So I'm used to it, And then since I've been an adult, I found jujitsu, so I compete. And I was just talking to my teacher. He wants to compete in Miami, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to swing it because not only is there a competition that weekend, uh, my girlfriend's birthday is the following weekend, so I'll see. But I do want to get back into competition shape. I just realized that like I feel better when I'm competing, and it's not about winning as much as it's about maintaining competition readiness. You know what I mean? I don't have to necessarily be competition ready, but I want to be close enough to where like within a week or two, I can be back up to competition ready. Really 3 weeks. 3 weeks is a good amount. So that means weight. My weight can't be too far off. It means my cardio. My cardio can't be too far off. In fact, I'm getting ready to go back to no-gi jiu-jitsu, which I was very nervous about because, I broke my ankle last year in June. And so, I still have some fear. Like today, I was going with this guy, new guy I'd never gone with before. And he went in for this move. And my first reaction was to try to stop him. You know what I mean? And I said, no, no, I'm not going to try to stop him. He can have it. Because that's what I did when I broke my ankle. I tried to stop them. It's called a takedown. So if you are a grappler, you know what I'm talking about. If you're not, just imagine you're standing and someone tries to take you down, tackle you. Like a tackle. Imagine a tackle, but you're trying to stop it from happening. And then your ankle gives way. So, um, yeah, I just feel better about myself when I'm competing. It requires something of you. Just working out requires something of you. I can't, what I mean, you can't go out partying and get wasted and think you're going to wake up the next morning and go to jujitsu or go to class or hit the work. You know what I mean? So I just love trying to be in good shape. And I know one thing about me is that I'm really aware of my body, if that makes sense. Like I know how much more I have to give, how much if I really want to push myself and kill myself, I know how to like really go hard. But I also know when I'm tired and I need to just like give myself a 75% day. Those are still good days. Uh, those are good days, and people need to learn to, be okay with 75 percent days. I'm so confused as to like, I wonder if I should like bring this back a little bit. I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters that much. We'll say we'll stay here. But yeah, so I'm thinking about competing. Worlds is a possibility, but man, it's just, money. Everything costs money. I'm not I've never been one to want lots of money. I think everyone wants a decent amount of money. My thing has always just been I don't want money to be the reason why I'm not doing something. You know what I mean? Like I'm okay to fly a regular seat. I'm okay to fly Comfort Plus. I'm okay to fly first class. It's all the same to me. I'm going somewhere. Do lounges and upgrades make the experience better? Yeah. And if you can afford it, which I think, on that topic, if you are a flyer and first of all, if you live in America and you are flying, I highly recommend Delta. Everybody that knows me knows that I'm a Delta fan. And the more I fly other airlines because people are moving into places where it's harder to get Delta flights, the more I realize. Like, so for example, my sister lives in Jersey or lived in Jersey, and it was just tricky. Orlando to Jersey is not very common for Delta. There was a flight, but and then a lot of times they wanted to connect. So like now she moved again, and we have to fly out into Philly. And Philly, if you want to go to Philly, you have to go Orlando, Atlanta, Philly. But I'm gonna do it because I only want to fly Delta. I wish they were still doing segments, but now I think they switched over this year to just dollars, which I'm okay with too, as long as it's like all dollars. You know what I mean? Like if it's like purchases on the flight, if it's like whatever. In fact, I need to get online and do some research and find out what they're doing with their rewards program this year because again, I'm a big Delta fan. But like I was trying to say, sorry, I'm a little bit all over the place. This is one of those days where I'm just showing up. It was hard to just show up. You know what I mean? Like sometimes it's hard just to show up, but I'm here. But if you are a person that likes to fly or you're getting into flying, Comfort Plus is a great value. Um, some people call it premium economy. It's a good value. It's like normally around $100. It could be like 75 sometimes. And it comes with complimentary drinks, complimentary snacks. It doesn't come with a meal like first class, but there's more room too. And there's priority boarding, which means that you'll get off the plane sooner too. So I like last time I flew Comfort Plus, It was to LA, which I think is a must. I mean, you know what I mean? It's just a must. Like if you're doing like more than like 4 hours, you want to be comfortable. You know, I've done it. No, see, because when I did it before, I was flying at JFK, and on JFK they fly. I don't know what airline. I don't know what the plane is. I can't remember the model, but it's a 2 4 2 I think configuration. And if you sit next to the bathroom, that's the trade-off. You get a lot of room. More room. It's like more room than Comfort Plus, in my opinion. So I used to do that, but it was nice. Delta Comfort Plus is a very affordable, very nice service, and I think it's comparable. I mean, like, so if you're gonna buy, let's say you buy a plane ticket for $200 to LA, Orlando to LA, $100 more, and you can fly Comfort Plus. But if you want to fly first class, you're looking at $400 to $500. Now, if you got it, by all means, you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of people out there who have it. And to them, $500 is not that big of a deal. But for me, it's, I'm not in a place where I can, because whereas I can get that first class seat, I can get 2 tickets now. You know what I mean? So I got to always be efficient right now where I'm at in life, which is a good place. I'm feeling good, man. I'm getting ready to turn 42. I just had a cousin, basically, or not basically, I've been hanging out with, I've been hanging out with somebody, and they say basically all the time, and it's seeping its way into my vocabulary. But I had a cousin say he thought I was 50, 51. Can you believe that? I mean, I'm 42. It's not like I'm not a kid, but normally I get younger. Like people are surprised when I tell them I'm in my 40s. This dude thought I was 51. Now, mind you, if I was 50, I want I want to be 50. I want to be 60. I want to be 70. I want to be 80. I want to be 90, you know? And in 90s, well, I don't know. I want to live as long as I can. But I definitely want to be 50. I think in fact, I'm pretty excited about being 50. I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be and it's not the same. It's really not the same. My parents are in their 60s, and I tell you what, if you looked at my mom, you would think that she early mid mid 50s, mid to early 50s, possibly late 40s, possibly. My dad too. They all look good, and my grand for the majority of my life, people thought my grandmother was my mother and my mom was my sister. So that just gives you a little bit of a context. So I say all that to say I've never been accused of being older. So it was a little bit weird, but it was a young guy, so he might have been throwing a little bit of shade. I don't know. And I don't care. Not much really happened this weekend. I watched a little bit of women's basketball, which I think is better. I'm sorry. I think at least at the college level, it's more enjoyable. There's more parity, and I'm not going to say which game is better. I'm not trying to make that argument. I'm just saying that I enjoy watching women's college sports, women's college basketball more than I enjoy watching men's college basketball. I don't know why that is. Maybe I'm just rooting for women's basketball. I think that women's basketball has kind of been given some bad branding. There's been and this is why I make content, because it's about narratives. And I think the narrative around women's basketball, women's sports, period, is that it's inferior to men's. And I would say it's not inferior to men's. Is first of all, it's just different. But if you can't accept different, I would say that in some ways it's less dynamic. Meaning, you're not going to see anyone dunk. You know what I mean? You're not going to see crazy blocks. Fast breaks are going to result in layups. That does something. No alley-oops. But where men have dynamic athleticism, you see great team execution and shooting. The shooting has gotten so much better, and I think that's what's really helping women's basketball kind of, grow and become more popular, it's the shooting, man. Caitlin Clark ain't the only one who has a shot. There's a girl, I think her name was Paige. Oh God, the last name started with a B. It was a weird name. Burke, I think it was, but like spelled weird, like Bue. Anyway, she was shooting, bro. She was shooting. I just like, and I just like parity. I think that, you know, teams dominating is not good for the league. I'm not trying to take anything away from UConn and Geo, and I think it's Geo, but now, man, teams are closer, and so it's fun to watch. So I watched a little bit of women's basketball. I watched the zero men's. I watched a couple of games, but yeah, it's that was cool. A lot of talk about the Marvin Sapp thing, and it's been very interesting to see the takes. I haven't seen many people defend it, except within my comments. But in my comments, there's always going to be people that are going to be what's the word I'm looking for? It means they go against the grain. I just think I think it's unacceptable, and I understand. So first of all, let me do some corrections. Apparently, this was not Marvin Sapp's church. This was and oh, for everyone tuning in, I don't know where you're tuning in from, but if you have any comments or any questions or any thoughts, please share them in the comments. I will address all comments or questions. But yeah, apparently it wasn't Marvin Sapp's church. He was at a conference, and if you don't know what a conference is, they have these conferences. They're kind of like master classes, masterminds, not masterminds, but master classes where you can go to learn how to be a better preacher. You can go to learn how to have a more effective budget, all kinds of like issues, or skill sets to make you a better leader at your church. And unfortunately, in my experience, these things tend to just be money makers. And I understand that it takes money to run churches. I'm not against offerings. I'm not against giving. I give every week. But what I am against, and this is just me. I don't know if it is or not against the Bible. But I'm against asking people for specific amounts. I think that when you do that, you're getting in the way of that person's to be able to give from their heart. If you ask me for something specific, like, so for example, I'll make it in a practical example. Rather than saying, Brian, I owe 1,500 for rent, I need 1,500 for you, or I need 800 from you. Just say, Brian, I'm struggling right now. I'm behind. My rent is 1,500, and I'm not going to have it. So if you can help me, because I might pay it all. But you're asking. But when you set an amount, you put it in a box. So I always felt like, because that's the counter to what I'm saying. People say you have not because you ask not, and I get it, and it's true. There's been times where I've sat and I had an ego, and I thought that if people were really my friends or if people were really for me, they would know that I had that need, and that's wrong. Maybe they will, and that's great if they do, but it's not on somebody if you don't speak up. If you're struggling, if you're hurting, and you're not telling anyone, that's not, because people have their own lives. And I've robbed friends and family members of opportunities to help me because I had too much pride and too much ego. And that's something I'm getting rid of this year. Like, I know so many talented people and so many people that are killing it in like social media and stuff. And I've been like, I'm not going to reach out to them until I get to a certain amount of followers. And I'm telling you, that was pure ego. It was pure ego. And, and truth be told, and I can't say this for sure, but I bet in my subconscious, I was thinking, I'm going to reach out to them when I have more followers than them. Why? It's not a competition. They're my friends. They're my mutuals. Like, you know what I mean? Like I have a mutual now that, like, when he started, he had like 30,000 followers. And right now I'm getting really close on TikTok to getting 90,000. But he has 120, I think. But I don't care. I'm happy for him. I think he deserves it. I think he deserves more. He makes amazing content. They're hilarious. And he's made a format of content that a lot of people are copying and a lot of people are using. So anyway, the Marvin Sapp thing, man, it kind of gets to me because, like, I just I think it's so people go to church and they're like desperate sometimes. A lot of times they're hurting, they're going through something, they're struggling with something. And so for somebody to come in and be like, if you do this, you know what I mean? I mean, and he wasn't giving them the quick quote pro quo. He didn't like hit them with the if you like Paula White did. She said, if you give $1,000, fam, what are you doing? If you give $1,000, God is going to give you a special blessing. He might. I in no way am trying to speak for God. He might, but I tend to believe that Paula White is speaking for selfish gains. I think most people that do special blessings for money, because God, Jesus, you know what I mean? Like, I really struggle with a lot of these. They tend to be conservative Christians because I feel like I understand wanting immigration policy. I understand uh, wanting to protect women and athletics. I understand wanting to not uh, feel that you can't express yourself if you are a Christian. But then I look at the life of Jesus, just wondering what part of Jesus' life are you looking at? Are you even looking at Jesus' life? Do you know what I mean? Because I see so many Christians today, and I'm just wondering, have you heard of Jesus? Do you know who Jesus is? You know? Like, I mean, like, did you watch his life? Where he went, how he lived, how he spoke to people, how he treated people? I mean, but I've seen in fact, I think there's a new thing now. It's like Jesus was a wuss, you know? What is that? Are you trying to get it's so it's such an American thing to do to try to have Christianity without Christ. It's so American. It's so American. Like because the reality is a lot of these Christians don't think that they're that bad. And they have a relativist, I think that's how you say it, relativist approach to Christianity. I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, but I'm not doing what they're doing. As long as I'm not doing what they're doing, I can do what I want to do because I'm not that bad. And I've been guilty of that. You know, I've been guilty of that. But I try to get up every day now and give it my best as to what I believe. I'm not going to go by what other people believe. I'll talk with you and we can discuss. And if you help me see the error in my ways, I'll change. I'm not against change. But that's something my aunt had a birthday. Her birthday was in February, but we had a party for her. And I wanted her to know that I saw her change. And the reason why I wanted her to know that I saw her change is because change is very hard. Even when you know you need change and you know you need to change, it's very difficult to do. I've seen people that were brilliant, talented, they wanted things out of life, but they couldn't change. And it's cost them. And that's what not being able to change will do. It will cost you the things that you want because you can't get it, you know? You can't everything has a cost. Whether it's time, whether it's knowledge, whether it's money, and whatever that cost is, you can't cheat it. You can try, you can hope that it'll work out and you'll get lucky, and people get lucky. But getting lucky is not a strategy, not one that I adhere to. So I wanted her to know, man, like change. Change is hard. And I'm all about change because unless your life stays exactly the same, unless your circumstances stay the same, and that's assuming you're happy with your circumstances, then you'll need to change with it. You know, I got a new situation now, a new group of people in my life, and I can't live like I used to. Like when I was by myself, I wanted to go to Orlando, I wanted to go to California for 2, 3 weeks, I could do it because it's just me and I work remotely. But now, if I'm gone for more than like, a week, people are looking, they're checking for me. Where you at? In a good way, not in a bad way, in a good way. So, I wanted to change is hard. And if you're able to change, you should be proud of yourself. Whether it's a small change or a life change, whatever kind of change, if you're able to make any kind of change for the better because you saw a need and you did it, you should be proud of yourself because it's very difficult. And so I'm just saying that like I try to be the best version of a Christian I can be. But if I'm wrong, I'm okay to change. And I think that in this circumstance, Marvin Sapp was wrong. I don't dislike the brother. I don't hate him. I have love for him. His music has inspired and encouraged me. I've seen him preach. Did a good job. He didn't do this there, but you don't know what people are going through. Maybe like he's under stress. Maybe they were like really desperately. Maybe that was one of his friends, and he was really desperately trying to help. But he went too far, shutting doors. It's already too far to be like the 40,000, but the shutting doors was just like crazy. That's what it makes me think. Like, come on, bro, you're doing the most. But really, outside of that, it was dance weekend, March Madness. Just been a pretty chill weekend. Looking forward to celebrating uh, my birthday on Wednesday. Celebrating all week. If you see me around or if you see me online, feel free to wish me happy birthday. Thank you to everybody that's been wishing me a happy birthday. I made a post saying that talking about the birthday dinner, and so people kind of got confused. It happens, but yeah, man, thank you. And I hope you have a great day. Today was hard to pull up. Not that like I'm down or I'm struggling. It's just doing a live for 1 to 3 to 4 people sometimes can be like a test on your mental. And I wasn't really feeling it today, but I pulled up, and I did my time. And I hope you enjoyed it. And I'm realizing what I should do is I should dip over to Instagram every now and then. Yeah, see, like on Instagram, I can see like the comments, but I have to go back over to Instagram, and then there's a delay. So that's cool though. I'm happy that so many people are watching on Instagram. But anyway, I hope everyone has a great week. I know I'm going to have a great week because it's my birthday week and I love birthdays. So, again, be easy. And if there's something you need to change, by all means, change. Till next time, take it easy.